The wind howled through the canyon like a mourning dove, carrying dust and memories across the dry plains of Redemption Valley. It was spring again, the season she always hated most, because spring was when he left, 5 years ago. On a morning just like this, crisp air, golden light spilling over the hills, birds singing like nothing in the world could ever break. Clara Bennett stood barefoot in the dirt outside her father's ranch house, watching Silas Kane ride away without looking back. No goodbye. No explanation. Just the thunder of hooves fading into silence and a heart cracking open inside her chest. She never sent the letter. Not then. Not now. It sat tucked beneath her mattress. Folded so many times the creases had worn thin, ink smudged from tears that fell harder than any desert rain. 23 pages long. Written in shaky hand by candlelight night after night, till her fingers cramped and her eyes burned. Underscore, I still love you. Underscore, that was the last line. She'd meant to mail it. Meant to chase him down. Meant to scream at him, beg him, make him understand. But pride is a stubborn beast, and grief. Grief turns even the strongest hearts to stone, so she buried it instead. Buried it with the dress she wore. The day he proposed under the old cottonwood tree, buried it with the locket he gave her, silver, engraved with their initials entwined. Buried it with every dream they'd whispered beneath star-strewn skies, and tried to forget him. Tried redemption. Valley wasn't much to look at. Dusty streets. Saloons that smelled of whiskey and regret. A general store run by a widow who knew everyone's business before breakfast. But it was home, and Clara had made peace with its quiet rhythm. She ran the town's only schoolhouse now, teaching children how to read, write, and add numbers while their parents worked the land or chased cattle across sun-baked fields. The kids called her Miss Clara, but some still slipped and said Mama when they were tired or hurt, and she never corrected them. There was little Tommy Reed, whose ma died birthing his baby sister. Sweet Ellie Mae Dawson, whose PA rode off one day and never came back. And Billy Joe Harper, wild as a Mustang colt, until Clara taught him poems about rivers and stars. They filled her days. They kept her hands busy. They kept her heart. Distracted, but nights. Nights were different. Nights belonged to ghosts, to the ghost of a man who used to kiss her forehead before dawn, who carved her name into fence posts just because he liked seeing it there, who promised her forever under an endless western sky, then vanished like smoke on the wind. Sometimes, late at night, she'd pull out the letter, just to feel the paper, just to remember his voice, just to wonder. Asterisk why? Asterisk why did you leave me, Silas? What did I do wrong? Were you afraid? Or did you simply stop loving me? Questions with no answers until today. Clara didn't hear the hoofbeats at first. She was bent over little Mary Sue's slate, helping her trace the shape of the letter C, for Clara, for cat. For courage when the bell above the schoolhouse door jing-led odd. School didn't start for another hour. She turned, chalk dust clinging to her skirt. Smile already forming, probably. Mrs. Langley bringing cookies again, and froze. Time stopped. Breath caught. Heart stuttered. Asterisk him. Asterisk Silas. Kane standing in the doorway. Taller, leaner, rougher around the edges. Like a man who'd seen too much sun and not enough mercy. His hair was longer, tied back with leather, streaked with silver she didn't remember. A scar cut across his left eyebrow, fresh enough to still be pink. He wore a duster coat frayed at the hem, boots caked with trail mud, and a revolver low on his hip, not drawn. But present, he looked like trouble. He looked like home. Their eyes met, and the whole world tilted sideways. Clara, he said, voice rough as gravel. Softer than memory, she dropped the chalk. It shattered on the wooden floor. Behind him, children gasped. Whispers rose like startled birds. Is that asterisk him asterisk? The outlaw? Miss Clara's fella? She couldn't speak, couldn't move, couldn't breathe. All she could do was stare, drinking him in. Terrified he'd vanish again if she blinked, he stepped forward slowly, palms open, empty. I know I got no right, he murmured, but I had to see you. Her throat tightened. You shouldn't have come. I know. You're wanted. I know. They'll hang you. I know. Silence stretched. Between them, thick, heavy, trembling with everything unsaid. Then, softly, "Did you get my letters?" Her chin lifted, eyes blazing. "You wrote asterisk. 1 asterisk. 5 years ago. 1 page, no return address. Just, forgive me." His face crumpled. "That wasn't the only one." "What?" "I wrote you every week. For 2 years. Sent them all through the post in Laramie. Paid extra for registered delivery." He swallowed hard. "Never got a reply. Thought. Maybe you didn't want to hear from me." Clara's hands curled into fists. "I never received asterisk anything asterisk." Silas. Not one word. A shadow crossed his face. Understanding. Horror. Someone intercepted them. Someone kept them apart, before either could say more. Sheriff Callahan's voice boomed from outside. "Kane, step out with your hands where I can see him." Gun metal clicked, boots stomped up the porch steps, children screamed. Clara moved without thinking, throwing herself between Silas and the door. "No," she cried. "Don't shoot." The sheriff paused, rifle raised. "Step aside, Clara. This ain't your fight." "It asterisk is asterisk," she snapped. "He hasn't done anything wrong here. Not yet." Silas touched her shoulder gently. "Let me go, darlin'. Ain't worth dying for." Her voice broke. "You left me once. Don't make me watch them take you again." He looked at her, really looked, and something shifted in his eyes. Regret, resolve, love. Raw and real as sunrise. "I ain't running anymore," he whispered, then louder. To the sheriff, "I surrender. Clean. No tricks." Clara's knees nearly buckled. They cuffed him right there. In front of her students, in front of God and everybody, dragged him out while she stood frozen, tears streaming silently down her cheeks. One of the older boys, Jakey Miller, tugged her sleeve. "Miss Clara, why's everyone say he's bad?" She wiped her face, forcing calm into her voice. "People change, Jakey. Sometimes we judge too quick. But, do you still love him?" She closed her eyes. "Yes," she whispered. "More than ever." Jailhouse walls were cold. Stone and iron in silence. Clara visited him the next day, basket in hand, biscuits, coffee, clean socks, things he might need, things she hoped would remind him she hadn't forgotten how he took his sugar to lumps, or that he hated wool against his skin. Sheriff Callahan let her in with a sigh. 10 minutes. And don't give him no tools." She nodded, stepping into the dim cell. Silas sat on the cot, head bowed, wrists bruised from the cuffs. He looked up when she entered, surprise flickering in his gaze. "You came." "Of course I came." He stood slowly, careful not to startle her. "Thought you'd hate me, I did." For a long time, she set the basket down. "Now I just want to understand," he exhaled, running a hand through his hair. "Where do I start?" At the beginning, he nodded, sat back down, patted the space beside him. She hesitated, then joined him. Close enough to smell his scent leather, gunpowder, sagebrush. Close enough to feel the heat radiating off him. Close enough to remember what it felt like to rest her head on his shoulder. "I left because I thought it was the only way to protect you," he began quietly. "From what?" "Me." She frowned. "That doesn't make sense." "It will." He looked away. "After PA died, I found ledgers in his desk. Proof he'd been stealing cattle from half the county. Forgery, fraud, even. Murder," Clara gasped. "Your father?" Silas nodded grimly. "Turns out the Kane fortune wasn't built on hard work. It was built on blood, and you. I inherited it. All of it. Debts, enemies, accusations." His jaw clenched. "Men came looking for revenge. Threatened to burn our home. Kill anyone connected to us. Including you." Her breath hitched. "You left to keep me safe? I figured if I disappeared, took the blame, became the villain, they'd leave you alone. Leave redemption alone. But why not tell me? Would you have let me go? No, there's your answer. Tears welled in her eyes. You should have trusted me. I was scared, Clara. Scared you'd follow me. His chest rose sharply. You kept it. I never sent it. Why? Because I was angry. Because I thought you chose the road over me. Because I didn't know how to forgive someone who didn't ask. He pulled her close then, carefully, reverently resting his forehead against hers. I'm asking now, he whispered. Please. Clara, forgive me. She closed her eyes, felt the warmth of his breath, felt the weight of 5 lost. Years felt the truth blooming inside her, fragile, fierce, undeniable. I already have. News traveled fast in Redemption Valley. By sundown, everyone knew Silas Kane was locked up and that Miss Clara Bennett visited him twice daily, bringing food, books, even a harmonica he used to play for her under. Moonlight, rumors flew. Some said she was bewitched, others claimed she was brave. Most agreed she was. Foolish, but none dared say it to her face, especially not after Widow Langley marched into the sheriff's office waving a stack of yellowed envelopes. Found these hidden behind a loose board in my attic, she announced loudly. Addressed to Clara Bennett. Postmarked Laramie. From him. Gasps echoed through the room. Sheriff Callahan snatched them, flipping through quickly. Dates matched Silas's claims. Dozens of letters. Unopened. Widow Langley flushed guiltily. My late husband. He worked the postal route back then. Must have. Held on to M. For 5 years. Clara demanded, voice shaking. He thought he was protecting you, the widow stammered. Said Silas was dangerous. That you deserved better. Clara's hands curled into fists. You stole my future. The room fell silent. Even the sheriff looked ashamed later that night. Alone in her bedroom, Clara opened the first letter, April 3rd. Year of our Lord 1879, darling Clara, greater than, I miss your laugh. I miss your hands. I miss the way you hum when you think nobody's listening. I'm sorry I left. Sorrier than words can say. But I swear on my life I'll come back to you. Cleaner, better, worthy, wait for me. Greater than, S, she sobbed. Open the next. May 12th, 1879, still alive. Got jumped near Cheyenne. Took a knife to the ribs. Doc says I'll live. All I could think about was you patching me up like you used to. Remember when I fell off Thunder? You stitched me up singing that silly song about bluebirds. I'd give anything to hear you sing again. Another. September 1st, 1880. Greater than. Got word they're looking for you now. Ask questions. Watch the schoolhouse. I'm heading east. Drawing 'em away. Don't worry. I'll circle back. Always do. Greater than. Love you more than breath. Page after page, year after year. Hope, pain, longing, devotion. Each letter ended the same. Wait for me. And each time. She hadn't known, hadn't answered, hadn't waited. Not really. Not the way he deserved. Clara gathered every letter, wrapped them in ribbon, and carried them to the jail the next morning. Silas stared at the bundle, stunned. You read them. All of them. He looked broken. Too late. No, she said firmly. It's exactly on time. She sat beside him again, pressing the letters into his hands. You poured your soul onto these pages. I owe you the same. Then she reached into her, sacked in, handed him the letter she never sent, 23 pages. Worn thin, smudged. With tears, he opened it slowly. Read. The first line, then the last. His eyes filled. I still love you? He whispered. She smiled through tears. I know. The trial came swift. Silas stood accused of crimes committed by his father: theft, fraud, conspiracy. Worse, murder. Witnesses appeared. Some truthful, others paid off. Lies tangled with facts until the courtroom buzzed like a hornet's nest. Clara sat in the front row every day, dressed in gray, eyes steady, spine straight. She brought him water, passed him notes, held his gaze during testimonies meant to destroy him. On the third day, the prosecutor called Widow Langley to the stand. Did Mr. Kane ever threaten Miss Bennet? The widow glanced at Clara, shamefaced. No, sir. Never. Did he force her affection? Absolutely not. Did he attempt to contact her after leaving Redemption Valley? Here, the widow hesitated. Then, quietly, yes, many times. Gasps rippled through the crowd. In fact, she continued, voice gaining strength, he wrote her faithfully. Letters full of love and apology. I withheld them. My husband did. We believed we were protecting her. We were wrong. The judge leaned forward. These letters, are they available? Clara stood. I have them, Your Honor. She walked to the bench. Handing over the bundle, the judge flipped through several, brow furrowing. These indicate consistent attempts at reconciliation. No malice, only remorse. The prosecutor scowled. Intent does not erase action, Your Honor. No, the judge agreed. But context matters. He adjourned early, requesting private review. Outside, porters swarmed Clara. Do you believe he's innocent? He didn't commit those crimes, she replied steadily. His father did. Silas spent 5 years trying to undo the damage. Trying to become the man I fell in love with? And are you still in love with him? She looked toward the courthouse doors where Silas was being led back inside. Yes, she said simply. Always have been. Always will be. The verdict came on Friday. Not guilty of everything. Cheers erupted in the square. Hats flew. Children danced. Silas staggered out of the courthouse, blinking in the sunlight. Free at last, Clara ran to him. He caught her mid-stride, lifting her off her feet, spinning her round as laughter bubbled from her lips, bright, clear, joyful. I'm free, he breathed into her hair. You always were, she whispered back. And here she pressed his hand to her heart. They kissed then, slow, sweet, sacred, under the wide western sky, surrounded by friends, strangers, and the ghosts of yesterday finally laid to rest. Someone started clapping. Then everyone did, even Sheriff. Callahan tipped his hat. That night, beneath a canopy of stars, they returned to the old cottonwood tree, the same one where he'd proposed all those years ago. Its branches stretched wider now, roots deeper, leaves greener like them. Silas knelt in the grass, pulling something from his pocket. The locket, still engraved. Still shining, I kept it, he said, next to my heart. Every day, Clara's breath caught. He opened it, inside a tiny photograph of her, taken the summer before he left. Smiling, young, hopeful. I carried you with me, he said. Even when I thought you'd forgotten me. She cupped his face. I never forgot you, Silas. Not for a heartbeat. He slid the chain around her neck, fingers lingering on her collarbone. Then he reached into his coat again. This time a ring dot, simple gold, polished, smooth from years tucked in his pocket. I bought this. The day I planned to propose, he admitted. Didn't have the nerve till sunset. Was gonna ask under this very tree? She laughed tearfully. And now? He grinned, boyish, beautiful, hers. Now I'm a skin again. Clara Bennett, will you marry me? Properly, publicly, forever. She threw her arms around his neck. Yes. Even though I'm poor now? Yes. Even though folks still whisper? Yes. Even though I ain't perfect. She kissed him softly. Especially because you ain't. They married 3 weeks later, under the same cottonwood tree in front of the whole town. Children scattered wildflowers. Widow Langley played piano on a wagon bed. Sheriff Callahan gave the bride away, since your PA ain't here.